Adwalton Moor was one of the most crucial battles of the English Civil War, yet we don't really seem to know that much about it. The resulting royalist victory meant that almost the whole parliamentarian campaign in the north of England was lost. So join me as today we find out about this part of Yorkshire's hidden history. When Charles I's wife, Queen Henrietta Maria, landed at Bridlington from France in late February, she brought a great deal of supplies and money to the royalist cause. In addition to this, a number of gentlemen of Yorkshire had defected to the royalists. This left the parliamentarian position in Yorkshire rapidly deteriorating, and in an effort to consolidate his forces, Lord Fairfax was determined to fall back from Selby to Leeds. His son, Sir Thomas Fairfax, was used as a decoy, but as he attempted to lure the royalists away from his father by advancing towards Tadcaster, he was ambushed at Seacroft Moor and utterly defeated. Sir Thomas, having retreated back to Leeds, attacked Wakefield where he captured Lieutenant General George Goring, who had defeated him at Seacroft. Meanwhile, Cavendish was determined to capture Bradford to ensure royalist control of Yorkshire, and with only 10 days to prepare, Lord and Sir Thomas Fairfax decided that as Bradford would be unable to withstand a siege, they would forestall Cavendish's advance as best as they could by surprising him at Adwalton. Unfortunately, Cavendish had already heard of their plan and placed his entire army of 10,000 men ready to meet the Fairfax's army of only 3,000 or 4,000. Now before we get to the battle, I've quickly come to Bowling Hall, which is just a few miles away from the battle site. It's a free museum and historic house, and it played a huge role in the English Civil War in Yorkshire, and I'll make a full video about it in the future. It has a small display about the battle as well as Oliver Cromwell's death mask, so I highly recommend that you check it out. Cavendish had mostly foot soldiers and cavalry, along with some powerful cannon. However, they were slightly short on firearms, and so the foot soldiers were comprised mostly of pikemen. These pikes would be on average around 14 to 16 feet in length. Lord Fairfax commanded the centre force, with Sir Thomas taking the right flank of musketeers and cavalry. In total, there was around 3,000 foot infantry, 1,500 cavalry and dragoons, plus a large number of clubmen or locals armed with farm implements. Major General Giffard took the left flank, of a similar size to Sir Thomas. Now, I always like to get a hands-on approach to history, so I've come to the actual battle site in the village of Drillington. However, there's a small problem. Most of the battle lies underneath public housing. Now, behind me lies the approximate site of Fairfax's troops and most of the battle, but unfortunately it's on private property, so I'm going to leave the storytelling of the battle till I get home. Around 750 royalist horsemen began harrying Sir Thomas and his musketeers. Some of them managed to get into the fields but were chased off by parliamentarian cavalry. The royalist horsemen then retreated. Meanwhile, on Giffard's wing, they were attacked by infantry but managed to drive them back. Now even more royalist cavalry, around 900 or so, attacked Sir Thomas's wing, attempting to open up the fields but were again driven back. It was at this point, like so many battles in history, that the decisive tactical error was made. Now Sir Thomas and Giffard rushed out the field, leaving behind their cover, and advanced. The royalists were on the verge of defeat, but a plucky attack by pikemen on Giffard's flank drove back the advancing Roundheads, and they were flanked by royalist cavalry and utterly routed. Sir Thomas was unaware of this and continued fighting until they received another charge by the royalist horse. Although they repelled this third charge, it was this that finally broke the parliamentarian army. Now the order to retreat was given. Giffard's men had already run back to Bradford, and Sir Thomas could only escape by marching to Halifax through Warren Lane. Lord Fairfax escaped to Leeds whilst his men trudged back to Bradford. An estimated 500 parliamentarians were killed, with over 1,500 taken prisoner. The royalists only lost around 100. The royalist victory left them nearly in control of the whole of Yorkshire, with only one parliamentarian stronghold remaining in Hull. For years, historians have dismissed this battle, not considering it that important, but recently this view is beginning to be challenged. Because the parliamentarian position was now so precarious, they were forced to enter into a religious and political alliance with Scotland, and this is what led to the infamous Battle of Marston Moor. This was the largest battle in the English Civil War, and it is what decisively turned the war in the favour of the Roundheads. This has been Yorkshire's Hidden History. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you again soon.